girls game. The summit of high school basketball is here in Houston. And after a touchstone night for women's basketball, the young stars of tomorrow are ready to introduce themselves and join the greats who came before. So who will start to carve out their legacy here tonight? We find out next. Just an unmatched history here at the McDonald's All-American Games. We've got 24 of the best in the class of 2024, meeting in a matchup of East versus West at the Toyota Center, home of the Houston Rockets. We welcome you courtside, along with the former Northwestern guard, Megan McEwen. I'm Ted Emmerich. Think back 24 hours to a history-making night in the women's tournament, featuring the likes of Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers and Angel Reese and Juju Watkins. A part of their journeys was being named McDonald's All-American, and tonight we see who's next.
It is the greatest honor to be named one of the top 24 high school players in the country. These are names you're going to be seeing with the Juju Watsons and the Caitlin Clarks and the Angel Reeses of the world. It's just the beginning, and it starts right here in Houston.
Well, the number one player in the class of 2024 is still on the board, uncommitted, Sarah Strong.
Sarah Strong is a 6'2" forward with guard skills. She can pass at a high level. She's incredibly accurate. Oh, and by the way, she can score at every single level as well. She says she's going to announce her commitment in the coming weeks, but she is taking her time, making sure she finds the right fit. And forward that you've got to see, Jelani Cambridge, the Ohio State guard, is unbelievable. If you like defense, she's the player for you. And a lot of times she takes that defense and makes it her offense. She's one of the quickest players on the floor. If you give her enough room, her first step is lethal. She's all the way at the rim. You're still waiting for her at the foul line.
She has quickly become one of your favorites that we've seen this week in practices and the scrimmage.
I love how Cambridge understands the importance of defense. For these high school seniors about to be college freshmen, if you want to play valuable minutes, you have to be able to defend at the next level. And Cambridge already has that ingrained in her DNA.
We check out the starters. First for the East. Swords, Heckel, and Caval are all teammates in high school at Long Island Lutheran in New York, the #1 high school girls basketball team in the country. They're joined by Strong, the #1 player, and Michaela Blakes, who's headed to Vanderbilt. And the starters for the West, Cambridge at the point. Future UConn Husky, Ali Zabel. Kennedy Smith, part of the #1 recruiting class for 2024, on the way to USC. Ariana Roberson, a San Antonio product. And Morgan Shelley. So the East in the blue, the West in the red. Last year, Megan, it was the highest scoring McDonald's All-American girls game ever, won by the West. Juju Watkins and Hannah Hidalgo were co-MVPs. Can't wait for what we have in store tonight.
Those are some star-studded names you just threw out there. But if it's anything like Jam Fest was yesterday, Ali Zabel knocked down what felt like 53s in a 5-minute period. We're going to see some baskets scored tonight, people.
Zabel won the three-point shootout, not just the girls' competition. Beat Trent Perry in the Battle of Champions, a la Steph versus Sabrina. Zabel firing early and off target. Here comes Michaela Blakes, who won the knockout competition last night at the Powerade Jam Fest. And the first touch for Strong. Blakes cut off by Kennedy Smith. Now Heckel, one of the best point guards in the class. And the rebound for Roberson.
It does take a little bit of time to adjust to the new environment. The team has been all over the Houston area practicing, getting scrimmages in, so it's going to take a couple of ups and downs before they can probably get used to the depth perception of the basket.
Caval missing the layup, headed to Notre Dame, but an offensive rebound by her high school teammate, Kaylee Heckel. Swords draws the foul. Well, Silas Swords has been a standout as well all week.
She's been one of my favorite players to watch because of her IQ and her poise. She takes the ball. She has incredible quickness getting to the basket, but she's going to be a great player at the next level.
Head coach for the West is Ann Fritz from Blue Valley North High School in Kansas, and also the sister-in-law of new Houston Cougars football coach Willie Fritz. Ann Fritz has certainly made a name for herself in the high school game.
I know, she said, hey, I got to see some family while I was down here. This worked out great as a double duty trip.
Swords with the first points of the game, and how about Ariana Roberson just missed the layup, and see how she can glide at her size. There, Lawson can't wait to get Roberson in a Duke uniform next year. Oh, look at Jelani Cambridge finding another gear. Just missed the layup, though, and the West still shut out.
I mean, if you have a little timer by her feet, it takes her like 3 seconds from half court.
And Kaylee Heckel, headed to USC, knocks down the jumper.
I like how Heckel is keeping shooting the ball. She's missed the first couple, but that mid-range shot is her bread and butter. She's got to keep shooting.
Kennedy Smith puts the West on the board.
Puts the West on the board. Did you see how balanced Smith was on that? She took a moment to gather, shoulder squared, feet set, boom.
Local product there in the Los Angeles area, staying home. How about USC? From Lindsey Gottlieb's first year, winning 12 games, #1 seed this year, going to the Elite Eight, and now the #1 recruiting class. Fran Burbage, the head coach for the East from the Westtown School in Pennsylvania. And what's special for him, he's got his son right next to him, Franny Burbage, on his staff this week.
It's always fun to have a little father-son coaching staff. And look, you got to give a shout-out to these coaches. These high school players would not be in the position they are without the great coaching and developing that happens at the high school level. There's a reason why these players are McDonald's All-Americans.
Cambridge with the soft touch. And the West has tied it up.
I love Cambridge's decision-making. She understands when to keep it for herself and when to distribute it. That's a point guard mentality.
Breaks with the scoop, and Roberson with another rebound for the West.
Roberson's always going to be in the right position defensively. No matter where the ball is up, she's going to be right there with this chance to get a board.
The ball with the block shot on Kennedy Smith. And Swords is fouled.
Jelani Cambridge is just so quick. Look, gives it up, gets it back, and then just turns on the jets with a little bit of contact. She still has the understanding of stopping, squaring up to the basket, and being on balance for that shot.
J.C. Sheldon, Celeste Taylor's careers coming to an end. The door is open for Cambridge to contribute right away in Columbus.
Kevin McGuff's eyes light up when talking about her, just like the eyes right there. Light up for Michaela Blake as she knocks it down.
Vanderbilt's first McDonald's All-American since Lee Carter 8 years ago. Doors are trending up under Shea Ralph. A kick by Cambridge. Kennedy Smith couldn't answer with a three of her own.
Overall got nice position on Roberson right there, pushing her out, getting the right spot.
Oh, Heckel slicing through the defense for two.
You gotta stop the ball. Defensive 101 in transition, Ted. Come on now, even you know that.
Give me too much credit. Roberson, the air ball.
Michaela Blakes has the ability to knock it down, especially if you forget to guard her or get caught underneath the screen. That is an invitation to step back, give yourself enough space and time, and make them pay.
Like she did last night, winning knockout. There's Sarah Strong stepping out at 6'2". She's got the range.
Sarah Strong is 6'2", can play in the paint, can also bring it out, and it just spreads the floor so much when your 6'2" forward can knock down threes because the defense has to come out to contest, and it opens up the inside for your team. When you get caught on a screen right there, and if you don't have a high hand up to contest, Sarah Strong's going to make you pay.
So the final three schools for Strong are Connecticut, Duke, and North Carolina. Again, Strong says she will decide next week as Cambridge turns it over. Strong's high school team, Grace Christian, there in North Carolina, went 30-0 this year.
Is that bad?
I think it's good.
No, it's difficult no matter which way you put it. You look at South Carolina in the women's game right now being undefeated. So hard to be undefeated, but you can see how her team's undefeated because she's 6'2", knocking down logo threes from the Sprite logo.
Again, at that size, she can finish inside too, and she says her best trait might actually be her passing.
You don't hear very many forwards saying that.
Oh, Smith trying to get around Strong, and the foul is called.
Sarah Strong's shot is pure as well. It's such an advantage for her at the next level. Again, get hit by a screen, boom, Strong recognizes where the defense is, knows she's going to have enough time to get the ball into that shot pocket and let it fly.
She says she watched a lot of Maya Moore growing up. Funny enough, also Caitlin Clark's favorite player, as we know. As Kennedy Smith at the line, breaking what was an 11-0 run by the East.
You talk about how Caitlin Clark has become such a huge name in basketball, but people forget Maya Moore made so many girls, especially at this age when they were little, fall in love with the game of basketball. She was a sensation.
Kate Caval, another post, stepping out, hitting a three for the East.
I love how the bigs are stepping out and hitting threes. In the game of basketball, it's starting to become positionless, so you have to be able to have that three game in your bag of tricks.
Up by a dozen. Blakes is fouled.
I know that was a foul, but can we talk about the air right there by Smith that she caught going up for that block? Just a fantastic job. And the athleticism amongst these ladies is at such a high level. It's a ton of fun to watch. They're already playing really fast, and the pace of the next level is going to be just as fast, if not faster.
Part of the evolution of the women's game. As Blakes is at the line here. Really shot up the rankings into the top 10 as her shot improved. And well-deserved as a senior, being the number 10 recruit in the country. This is a fun matchup. Cambridge against Heckel. Offline, and Strong clears it. And a kickball out of bounds here.
That's Cambridge's defensive IQ on display. She realizes where the ball is going, that Heckel's waiting for Strong to come back down. Just put a little foot out, play a little soccer for a second.
He's 3 for 3 from downtown to start here. West 0 for 3 as Caval works inside. Strong wants another three. Not this time.
Good job by the East getting the ball inside because it forces the defense to collapse and gives your guards a little more room on the perimeter to shoot.
Morgan Shelley trains the triple for the West. Future UConn Husky, product of the Bay Area.
Speaking of shooting, you know, transition three is also good.
And Silas Swords answers for the East.
I think it's safe to say everybody has now adjusted to the environment they're in at the Toyota Center.
Yeah.
Back to back we go.
Yeah, those missed layups, long forgotten. Start the game. Oh, Blake's the block shot on the perimeter. Oh, and Ali Zabel, a hard fall right on her back. Thankfully, right back to her feet. And we've got a timeout with the East up 23-9. Light it up from deep. Sarah Strong, the #1 player in the country.
Sarah Strong, no one does it better when it comes to passing, reading the defense, and absolutely making them pay from the logo.
McDonald's All-American Girls Game. Ted Emmerich, Megan McEwen, our entire crew. And subs are in for both the East and the West. New 5 on the floors. We check out the reserves for the East, including a pair of future UCLA Bruins who are high school teammates, Kendall Dudley and Zania Soka Guman at Sidwell Friends School in the D.C. metro area. So Sarah Strong, the #1 recruit in the country, helping the East to a 23-9 lead. And we'll see if the second 5 can continue.
Tremendous help side defense by Justice Carlton, coming over, making sure there wasn't an easy open layup by the East.
You see the reserves for the West. Amari Berry decommitted from Clemson after Amanda Butler was fired. She's considering Louisville, Kentucky, and North Carolina, she says at this point. Miara O'Neal could not come up with the pass. It's a turnover, and yes, that name might sound familiar. The youngest child of the great Shaquille O'Neal starring in this game.
I love what Miara O'Neal told us, saying that the best advice her dad gave her was that under pressure diamonds form. And that's what she's been able to take in stride. A Florida commit, and I love her timing when it comes to blocks. She's really smart about waiting for the ball to come out of the opponent's hands before she goes up so she can defend without fouling. Looks reminiscent of this guy right here.
Go back to 1989. Representing Cole High School in San Antonio. Shaq on the break, and look out! Named co-MVP along with Bobby Hurley in the 1989 McDonald's All-American Boys game. And now here in 2024, Miara O'Neal on the floor.
How about the shorts then were shorter than what we're seeing now? That's when it was like, those were the days, Ted. Those were the days.
Coming back. Oh, Justice Carlton with the moves. Carlton, one of 3 Texas products in this game, and in fact, from right here in Houston, headed to Texas. And Joyce Edwards draws the foul at the other end, the number 2 player in the country, going to South Carolina.
Justice Carlton had a big play down here defensively, then comes down, the net doesn't even move. Boom, puts that right over the top of the rim. Great balance, stopping on a dime and staying under control.
Edwards at the line for the East. You think about Carlton, you think about the Texas class that also includes Jordan Lee, who's also on the floor, top 10 prospect in 2024, along with Carlton. Like Madison Booker a year ago, who was in this game, Carlton is a strong and skilled forward.
You also have to be a strong and skilled defender if you're going to go play under Vic Schaefer. Professor of defense. He is one of the best when it comes to that side of the ball, and these are athletic players who understand how to cut down angles and read the eyes of the person passing the ball.
Dudley the kick. Sam Jones on her way to NC State, in and out. The best pure scorers in the class couldn't get it to drop. Liv McGill was the hero of the scrimmage, the highest ranked recruit in Florida women's basketball history. Hit a last-second shot to help her team win. And now the pass to Miara O'Neal inside.
Liv McGill and Miara O'Neal are going to be roommates at Florida as well. So just already getting that roommate connection down low in the paint with a high feed to O'Neal.
First time the Gators have had 2 McDonald's All-Americans in the same class. And Joyce Edwards hits here at the other end.
I love Joyce Edwards' game. She's really poised underneath the basket. She understands when to face up and also when to make the move behind the back. I'm really loving how physical she already is at this level. Little pick, roll. I mean, look at this. Little alley-oop pass. O'Neal's right there, ready to rock.
Somewhere Kelly Finley is like, yes, that's exactly how it's supposed to work starting next year.
We're going to draw that up and run it every couple of possessions.
Oh, Edwards lost her balance. Lee fighting for it, and the West comes up with it. Now McGill on the break. And fouled by Sam Jones.
This game has great pace to it right now. Both teams getting up and down, trying to create extra possessions and score in transition.
Sam Jones, her first 14 foul.
Well, coming up, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, over on ESPN and the app. We've got the 47th annual McDonald's High School All-American Boys game from right here. East versus West. Cannot wait for number 1 versus number 2. They've been going at it in practices, at the scrimmage. Cooper Flagg, number 1 in the country, headed to Duke. Ace Bailey, number 2, headed to Rutgers. Oh, how about that pass? Sam Jones ahead to Joyce Edwards.
That was like a quarterback to a wide receiver down the field, perfectly placing that ball to where only Edwards could catch it.
McGill got bumped. And the foul called against Edwards.
This pass was you beat from Sam Jones, absolutely leaving Edwards to the basket. She didn't even have to break stride, and the ball was only where Edwards could catch it, so it can't be contested. I mean, look at this. It's like a OBJ catching it in the end zone, perhaps. You got to have soft hands and a strong finish.
Or Nico Collins or Tank Dell here in Houston.
There we go. We'll make it relevant to our location.
I think
tailor-made.
Sam Jones looking like C.J. Stroud, and I think it was the glasses. That's what did it. She's able to see over the defense to find Edwards.
Hey, I love the glasses. You think about Olivia Miles in Notre Dame, Diamond to Shields in the WNBA. Helps you see better.
And Jones to the rack, and she draws the foul.
And loses a shoe in the process. That's how you know she drove hard to the basket. And right now, Sam Jones is playing aggressive. We saw this in the scrimmage from her as well. She's coming out hunting her shot. But the way that she gets lower to the ground and changes speeds, looks one direction, then boom, gets lower, that crossover, gets McGill out of her stance, and Sam Jones is at the rim.
Boy, it is a good time to be an NC State fan. The women and the men in the Final Four. And it's the second straight year now that a guard selected to be a McDonald's All-American is on her way to Raleigh. Zoe Brooks was in this game a year ago.
Tell you what, it is a great time to be in it. I just want to know what's in the water down there right now and if I can get some shipped to me, because good things are happening down there. The juice is at all-time high.
Advancing to the Final Four for the first time since 1998. Avery Howell, maybe the best shooter in the class, rimmed out and fouled underneath against the West.
Avery Howell has taken so much time to get into the gym over the course of the last 2 years. Would wake up at 4 in the morning to get to the gym by 4:30. She tried to get 1,000 shots up over the course of 90 minutes before she went to school in the morning. And just that consistency has led to her having one of the purest shots in this game. She missed that one, but great shooters. Like Dory, just keep swimming, just keep shooting. You got to have short-term memory. You only remember the makes when you're a great shooter.
So O'Neal at the line. It was Dad's 2016 Hall of Fame speech where Shaq said, Miara is going to be the best women's basketball player ever. And Miara was 10 years old at the time. She has learned to handle the spotlight that has followed her since she started playing. How about the outlet pass by O'Neal, trying to find her future college teammate, and does in McGill.
Ooh.
And McGill met by Soka Guman, loose ball. It'll stay at this end.
Nice job by Soka Guman getting into the right spot under the basket to prevent that from being an easy look.
Final minute, this first quarter.
Good switch out by Soka Guman.
O'Neal was trying to find Jordan Lee. Instead, it's Sania Soka Guman. Oh, how about that pass? Barry Wallace missed the layup. And Justice Carlton tracks it down for the West. What a wraparound find.
You should give her an assist anyways, right?
Howell in a crowd, and she's fouled.
Look at how good this pass was by Zania Sakaguman. Boom. She wrapped that around perfectly at the perfect angle. Nonetheless, how do you wrap this around as a forward? A player on the move. Avoid the two defenders? I want to watch that on repeat. That gets me hype.
And she wrapped it around Avery Howell, who's at the line. They'll see plenty of each other in the Big Ten now, USC and UCLA. Carlton, blocked by Edwards.
I told them, you thought you were going to the warmth of the Pac-12. Nope, welcome to winter on the East Coast, ladies.
Yep. There's Edwards inside for the East. South Carolina product staying home to play for Dawn Staley. On a tie-up. And the ball belongs to the East. 9 players in this game are headed to the Big Ten, 3 of them to USC.
USC has been one of the most fun teams to watch in college basketball over the course of the year. They'll just continue doing so, bringing all this talent in.
Edwards, final seconds, trying to find Soka Guman. Instead, Howell, a pass ahead, deflected by Edwards in the first quarter, comes to a close. Blazing start from beyond the arc, and they're up double figures after one here at the McDonald's All-American Girls Game as we meet the future stars of college basketball and beyond. McDonald's All-American Girls Game, and it was just a prelude to what was to come from the likes of Hannah Hidalgo, Michaela Williams, Mylasia Full-Wiley at South Carolina, Juju Watkins at USC, and co-MVP of the game along with Hidalgo. A few more, including Madison Booker, Big 12 co-player of the year at Texas. Just a star-studded freshman class in college basketball this season.
How about they all average double figures in scoring as well? That's what's so impressive. At every single school these young ladies went to, They face the toughest competition in college basketball and still were able to find their shot, adjust to the level of physicality and the pace of the next level. It is so impressive to see how quickly freshmen are now coming into college basketball and adjusting and, quite frankly, dominating.
The whole sport has just been lifted in the last few years. It was a record-setting night last night in the Elite Eight.
12.3 million viewers. It's a lot of people, Ted. And
Incredible.
A lot of the viewers were these young women watching the game while at Jam Fest on their phones.
No doubt. I think we had it going at the table as well last night at Del Mar Fieldhouse. So the East up 32-19 here in the second. And Michaela Blakes misses the three. Olivia Olson trying to chase down the offensive board. And out of bounds to the east.
Olivia Olson's a player I'm really excited about to see her over the course of her career at Michigan. She's really smart and poised, always in the right position. And then she makes the hustle plays, like diving on the floor for a loose ball right there. She's not afraid to sacrifice her body.
Trying to jump stop, gave it up. Strong wants another three. Give it to her. Her third of the first half.
If you do not have a high hand up in Sarah Strong's face, she will make you pay. Simple as that.
Cambridge is trying to find Roberson. Tie up, and we're heading the other way.
Sarah Strong is now hit 3 threes in this game. She reads the defense at such a high level. Paint touch forces the defense to shift. Right there, Roberson gets caught with her hand down. Sarah Strong says, man down, knocks it down.
From Fuquay, Verena, North Carolina, as Blake snipes in and draws the foul. Once again, Michaela Blake's getting downhill.
She's quick, and the change of pace as well. Little hesitation, forces the defense out of their stance, and then Blake's attacks that outside hip. She has the advantage getting all the way to the rack.
So just a bit of a limp as she got to her feet. But now at the line. Younger sister of Duke guard Jalen Blakes. And Michaela has become a top 10 recruit in the nation. Here comes Morgan Shelley from the Bay Area on her way to UConn. To her future college teammate, Ali Zabel. Missed everything out of bounds, but it's still West ball.
West ball, checking in for the East team, number 13.
Oh, the glove is in the house. Gary Payton among those in attendance tonight, the Hall of Famer. I think he would approve of Jelani Cambridge and her defense.
I 100% agree that he would approve. He's also got a pretty good seat right here watching, and a pretty cool outfit on, now that I'm looking at it closely. His pants have pictures on them. Those are the coolest pants I've ever seen. Look at those.
Wow. Can we get a pair?
I'd like, I mean, look at these. Look at them up close.
Yeah.
Gotta ask him where he got them from. Do you think he'll tell me?
The glove is stylish.
He's not
that simple.
I don't think he's a gatekeeper with fashion.
Go ask him at halftime.
Maybe I will at the half.
Roberson at the line for the West. From Clark High School in San Antonio, about 200 miles west of here in Houston. Headed to Duke. You saw Duke upset Ohio State, second round of the NCAA tournament in Columbus.
Kara Lawson has the Blue Devils going, not just offensively, but defensively. They are one of the fiercest teams because they have players that can do that. Roberson coming in with the block.
Shelley to Zabel. And that UConn connection couldn't pay it off with the three.
Zabel's taking a couple 2 steps back, way too far from the basket right now. She's got to be a little closer up on that line just to get used to this environment in here from the three-point shooting perspective.
About this time, over Strong, and she hits.
She was closer to the line as well that time, a little more in her range as she tries to get used to. We're playing at a pro arena right here as well, but look, sharp shooter, was dominant in the three-point contest last night.
That goal, too much on it at the rim. And now Zabel in the open floor. Oh, Cambridge is trying to find Roberson, couldn't connect. Olsen off glass for two. What a tough shot with Roberson defending.
Tough shot where she had to use the angle of the basket, throwing it up right in the upper hand of the triangle, or square rather. Let's learn our shapes now. does a great job finishing.
Part of the best women's basketball class ever going to Michigan as Zabel slices in for two.
Zabel just hit a three, so the defense has to come out on her with a high hand. She does what you're supposed to attack that hip when you have the room.
Foul inside as Caval was trying to establish position.
Allie Zabel in transition, getting to the spot. Perfect, lines it up. I love how she keeps shooting. Even though she missed her first couple of shots, she keeps going. How about that little hesitation and a scoop? There it is by Olivia Olson. Fantastic finish.
Heckel in and out. And here comes Cambridge. Nobody moves like her here in Houston. Couldn't hit her scoop. That bounce strong ahead to Olson. And out of bounds.
Sarah Strong reminds me of Caitlin Clark with her passing ability. How crisp they are, how she leads people to the basket, and especially in transition, she's getting her teammates open before they even realize they're open.
And with a very different frame than Caitlin Clark. As Cambridge comes up with the steal, what's new? Zabel tees it up again. Yes!
Once you see one go, they all feel like they're going to start to fall. Shooters get confident when they see shots go in from beyond the arc. What a job by Allie Zabel to just keep shooting.
Timeout for the East as the West has cut the deficit to single digits. Allie Zabel knows how to light it up.
Back in Houston, where Allie Zabel is starting to light it up at the Toyota Center, finally getting her shot to go. Then once you make one, the defense has to come out. She drives right by the defender, getting to the basket in transition, making everybody pay. Such a quick release. I love her little hop as well. She doesn't really jump that hard. She just gets into that rhythm, and boom. There's a reason why she's the 4th best player in the country.
From Neenah High School in Wisconsin, this is actually not her first McDonald's All-American experience. In 2017 in Chicago, as a kid, she got to shoot at halftime. So when she made the team this year, her dad sent her a picture that he took. And now Allie Zabel is actually on the floor in the game.
Talk about manifesting things, and also if you see it, you can be it. And for her to be able in 2017 to have the McDonald's All-American in Chicago, close to Wisconsin, where she could get to, you see the stars then, and as a little girl, you think you can also do it, and look where she is now.
Sarah Strong could very well be her teammate starting next year. Again, her final three, UConn, Duke, and North Carolina, the #1 player in the nation at the line. And what a first half she's put together. So 11 for Strong, and it's an 11-point lead for the East. McKinley Randolph, daughter of Zach Randolph, former McDonald's All-American himself. Couldn't hit, and here comes Sarah Strong in the open floor at 6'2".
The point forward, dangerous.
The post up for Strong. Heckel knocks down a triple.
Heckel could not have been more in rhythm on that shot. On the move, caught it right at the shooting pocket and let it fly. Quick release there for the senior.
From Port Chester, New York. Place you know quite well, Megan.
No, it's right down the street from me. We were talking shop about what restaurants we need to go to in Port Chester.
Heckel's going cross country to USC. Oh, Roberson, dangerous pass, and it's stolen by Swords. Offensive foul as Cambridge got knocked down.
Jelani Cambridge is one of the hardest players to go against when she's guarding you because she's so smart and quick. So when you're trying to get set for a screen, she moves so quickly with the person getting the screen that it's hard to stay still enough and wait patiently to hit her legally with the screen.
She's always in motion. Jelani Cambridge. Organcelli rejected by Strong out of bounds.
Sarah Strong looks like the best player in the country in this game. There's a reason why she was ranked #1. She's smart. She goes on both ends, hard, offensive, defensively. She's the point forward.
Roberson is fouled. This play on the out of bounds. Roberson to the line.
13 call. Ariana Robertson at the line, 2 shots.
NBA Wednesday doubleheader tomorrow night. First, Jason Tatum and the Celtics. They've already clinched the #1 seed in the East, hosting the Oklahoma City Thunder at 7:30 Eastern. Then it's the Cavs and the Suns. Phoenix hoping to avoid the play-in tournament. Coverage tipping off with NBA Countdown at 7. See a whole lot of former McDonald's All-Americans in those 2 games right there.
No kidding.
KD, the MVP of the McDonald's All-American game back in 2006.
Got a couple dunk contest winners in those games as well, and 3-point shootout winners. The Jam Fest is fun. Getting to compete in some of your favorite things. I mean, I love the Steph versus Sabrina shootout we had as well. Hallie Isabel coming out on top. She said she was most nervous to have to rock, paper, scissors to determine who would go first.
I'll show you a recap of what went down last night. Coming out at the half. Yara O'Neal, trying the 3. How about that? She is capable.
She said she wanted to hit a 3 in this game. That was her goal when we talked to her at the scrimmage. So I'm going to hit a 3. Said it with a smile on her face.
She says, hey, I'm not my dad in every facet of my game. I can step out too. Allen Edwards going at it in the corner. 7 to shoot here for the East, and Zan Jones. Jones. Oh, way off. Just had to put it up. Didn't touch the rim. Shot clock violation.
Great contest by McGill, being out there, forcing Jones off balance. Her shoulders weren't even squared towards the rim. They were squared towards the baseline.
Liv McGill, product of Hopkins High School, which also produced Paige Beckers and another former McDonald's All-American in Maya Nagy. So the 3rd in 4 years for the Hopkins Royals.
And my college teammate, Nia Coffey, as well, was a McDonald's All-American out of Hopkins High School in Minnesota. So a great program, highly successful. People don't realize the state of Minnesota has some of the best high school basketball in the nation.
We had Tessa Johnson in this game a couple of years ago. Now in South Carolina from the Twin Cities. Here's Howell. Barry Wallace in traffic. Signed with Illinois. And the whistle blows.
West foul called on number 2, Amari Berry, her first 4th team foul.
So under 4 to play here in the half, and the East up by 13. Dudley inside, and she draws the foul. Back-to-back fouls on Amari Berry.
Smart by Dudley. Try to post up someone smaller on her, realizes there's a mismatch, and just goes to work using her physicality and size down low.
Dudley at the line for the East team, 2 shots.
I love Dudley's handle on Twitter, @StarInMaking22.
It's pretty good. And manifesting, also, she's a star. She's a high school star for sure. I'm so excited to see what she does at the next level. She's got great size and just great poise as a person. Wonderful personality. We really enjoyed talking to her over the course of this week, being at the McDonald's All-American game. And so fun, she's also doing this with her high school teammate. Oh, and by the way, her mom is her high school coach. So you got to be mentally tough when your parent is coaching you at any level.
Mom Tamika, the coach at Sidwell Friends, one of the premier programs in the nation. Zania Soka-Guman on that team as well, and she lost it out of bounds. How about that? You'll have Soka-Guman, you'll have Kendall Dudley, and they will have a Sidwell reunion next year in Westwood with Kiki Rice, who started in this game 2 years ago.
Kiki Rice, one of the best players in college basketball. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how that team continues to adjust.
Miara O'Neal inside. So O'Neal with 6. Soka-Guman with the scoop.
Those are some long arms going into work. Soka-Guman doing a great job avoiding the defense.
If McGill draws the foul from Zam Jones. Back to the bucket for O'Neal.
Watch the pass. Justice Carlton down to Miara O'Neal, where only she could catch it on the fly, catches it in rhythm, on the go. Boom, balanced, finished.
So you think of Dad and the nicknames, right? The Big Aristotle, Shaq Diesel, so on and so forth. We asked Miara, all right, do you already have a nickname? And she said, just call me Measy. Keep it simple.
Why not? She's done a great job handling all thrown her way as well. Look, that's a big name to have in basketball, and she has taken it in stride. Very humble, very much just wants to be in the gym, getting better, loves the game of basketball, which is huge.
Carlton, the Houston native, couldn't get it to drop. And Dudley's pass too far in front of Zam Jones, a turnover. Mary catching fire. You wonder when fatigue might set in. We are playing 10-minute quarters here at the McDonald's All-American game. Had the rough start as players are trying to figure out their surroundings, handle a little bit of nerves, and now here late in the half, a few more missed shots.
And it's the big court as well. You're playing on a college-sized college-sized arena. I mean, look, it's so big. I'm getting tired watching them now at this point. Everybody's starting to run out of some energy. That being said, it just takes a little bit of time to adjust to the environment. They started to in the first quarter, but now their legs are a little tired, it's looking like.
No tired legs in the women's Final Four Friday night. Undefeated South Carolina and NC State leading it off at 7 Eastern. Then it is Page and UConn against Caitlin and Iowa. Both games on ESPN and the app. And Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi are back with their own commentary on ESPN2 and ESPN+.
It's so funny. I love the Sue Bird Diana Taurasi show. How about 12.3 million viewers in the Iowa-LSU game last night? Absolutely fantastic. Shattered the previous record of more than 9 million in the national championship game. People are loving women's basketball, and this is the next generation to shatter those viewership records.
Under 2 to play in the half. And a foul as Joyce Edwards brought it in. These players are so motivated to be a part of that, to help continue to drive the sport forward.
It was really cool to see all these players with their cell phones out last night watching the LSU-Iowa game on their phones. There was a time when college basketball players and high school players didn't watch the next level. But now you have so much access to it that these players are consuming it all the time, and they're able to say, hey, I want to be the next Angel Reese, the next Juju Watkins, the next Caitlin Clark.
Even Tracy McGrady, the Hall of Famer who was judging the slam dunk contest, said he had it on his phone and he had a job to do. Oh, Zania Soka-Guman with the block.
Her athleticism is unbelievable, and her timing on blocks as well. I love her passing ability. I mean, Zania Soka-Guman does all of the little things that don't always show up in the stat sheet, but just like the wraparound pass we saw earlier, being in the right place defensively, but just making the strong plays, the right plays, timing that block perfectly.
It's been a meteoric rise for her. Injured most of last year, had a dominant summer, now a McDonald's All-American. With McGill off the steal, knocked out of her hands by Zam Jones. They have to stay with the West.
That was a nice job by Jones getting back in position after losing the ball, comes down, makes the right play. I like hustle plays to get back on defense. You don't want to pout when you turn the ball over, your teammate turns the ball over. Get back and defend. Nice job.
Carlton in the crowd. Forget about the bucket. And looks like a 3-second call. Turnover. Can't remember the last time 3 seconds has been called in the McDonald's game.
And now we'll see if it happens consistently. Because once you start that precedent, the floodgates open, the coaches are like, 3 seconds, 3 seconds.
The
Can
coaches were barking during the scrimmages. Just as competitive as the players on the floor. They're here for a reason.
Oh
Silka Guman, laser-like feed to Barry Wallace.
And it wasn't just the pass, it was the handles to get into the position to pass the ball. My goodness.
McGill cut off. Carlton, future Longhorn hanging. And Wallace clears it for the East. They've got their largest lead here, but the East turns it over with 24 seconds remaining in the half.
This pass from Zania Sakaguman, just watch her handles here, boom, turns up, faces up, puts it on the floor, draws two defenders, and it leads to a wide open layup opportunity for Barry Wallace.
Shot clock is dark here, 12 seconds for Barry. Nice feed. Jordan Lee, little game of Plinko at the top.
Honestly, that's impressive to get the ball stopped right there. Doesn't move. I mean, you probably couldn't even get the ball there if you tried.
That is more impressive than a wedgie.
Yeah, I mean, boom. It's like an arcade game. Plinko, you say. I haven't
That's
heard
what I
that
said.
in a while.
How about that? Price is Right. My favorite Price is Right game. Come on now.
Just want to know who's. There we go. We got a mop coming over.
Yeah, that's always the question. Who will you enlist? And so, will this get it done?
Maybe we bring Ace Bailey out to get it out because, you know,
we might need
got up.
We might need John Bull, the 7-footer. Yeah. We've got another ball, thankfully, to close out the half. Final 5 seconds. Edwards, number 2 player in the country, fouled.
Just what you want to do as time is expiring. Go all the way to the rim, challenge the defense, and try to get to the line.
And the ball is still up there. We'll worry about that at the half.
I heard they're going to ask you to go get it, Ted. Hope you wore sneakers.
Me and a ladder. Maybe one that extends. Edwards, the Morgan Wooten National Player of the Year. You caught up with her yesterday. Hear from her coming up at the half. As the East goes up 16. Final 2.8. McGill, the heave. Thought that was going to help dislodge the ball that stuck. No dice. At the break, the 22nd annual McDonald's All-American Girls Game. Coming up, Megan will talk with Joyce Edwards, National Player of the Year. Halftime here in Houston at the McDonald's All-American Girls Game. We are capping a full week here in H-Town. Last night, just across town at Del Mar Fieldhouse, we had the Powerade Jam Fest featuring the boys' three-point contest won by Trent Perry from Los Angeles. Perry got off to a blistering start, and Perry was the winner. On the girls' side, Allie Savell, top 5 prospect in the class, on her way to UConn, much like Perry. Starting with that first rack, starting hot, and cashing in, beating the likes of Avery Howell and company. And then we had our Steph versus Sabrina-like battle of champions. Rock, paper, scissors to decide who would go first. And Allie Savell reigns supreme, the Wisconsin native, taking the crown in the three-point battle of champions. To the slam dunk contest, VJ Edgecombe. How about that elevation? Top 5 player headed to Baylor. But it was Jalil Bethia, the future Miami Hurricane, who leapfrogged over the competition and Khalil Ware and teammate John Bull to win the slam dunk contest. It was over. The full slate of winners, Michaela Blake's headed to Vandy, Tahad Pettiford headed to Auburn, won the knockout competitions. Well, a number of the players we're watching here tonight are on their way to Indianapolis for the start of Chipotle Nationals. It's the 15th edition of this great event. 12 games available across all the ESPN platforms. All 14 teams in the boys and girls fields are ranked in the SportsCenter Next Top 25 fact, we'll have 16 McDonald's All-Americans in the event. Well, the Morgan Wooten National Player of the Year on the girls' side this year is Joyce Edwards, number 2 player in the class. And the South Carolina product is staying home to play for Dawn Staley and the Gamecocks. She was a standout at the scrimmage. Yesterday, Megan McEwen caught up with Joyce.
Joyce, you've won a ton of awards at this point in time, but why is it so special to win the Morgan Wooten Player of the Year award?
I mean, Wooten gave it to me. I mean, they seen something in me, obviously, that some other people may not see in me. And it just speaks to me and then also my parents, my support system, that I've gotten this far and I'm able for other people to see, like, what I'm doing.
A lot of people have seen what you're doing. You're a McDonald's All-American. When you think back to it, when did you fall in love with the game of basketball?
4 years old when I started playing, probably. That was probably when I fell in love with sports in general. I mean, obviously played a whole bunch of sports at a young age. But I feel like I started taking basketball seriously, like, more than 7th grade. And I just knew that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I wanted to excel in.
You were able to be a ball girl at South Carolina games when you were in middle school. You're going to South Carolina. Why was that experience special?
Only because you just see the progress from wiping down South Carolina floors to eventually playing on it. I mean, just looking back and thinking about that is crazy. And the progress that I had and the work that I put in order to get in this position, it's a crazy thing.
It's also crazy to think about all the South Carolina greats that have been McDonald's All-Americans. If you had to pick one, who was your favorite McDonald's All-American?
Of course, Asia Wilson, changing the game of basketball, MVP, finals MVP. She's doing it all. Just a successful basketball player overall.
Why are you the next great player at South Carolina?
I feel like because I'm coming in with a two-way game, you know, defense and offense. Obviously, defense comes first. If I can't play defense, I don't think I'm going to get much playing time. But I'm also offensively aggressive, and I can do, like, mid-range pull-ups, you know, slash, stuff like that. I think I'm pretty versatile on offense.
Coach Daly is going to like that defensive answer. Joyce, thank you so much.
No problem.
Well, Joyce Edwards and the rest of the McDonald's All-Americans visited the Ronald McDonald House here in Houston over the weekend. Megawatt smiles all around as they made the days of the families who the Ronald McDonald House charities are proud to help in times of need. The charity is celebrating its golden anniversary, and I had a chance to visit with a very special guest who can tell us all about it. Here at the McDonald's All-American Games, we highlight the very best players in high school basketball, and we also get a chance to highlight the important work done by the Ronald McDonald House Charities. And to help us do that, we're so glad to be joined by Joanna Sabato, Global Chief Marketing and Communications Officer with Ronald McDonald House Charities. Joanna, the charity is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. What makes you the most proud about all the work done by the charity through the decades?
Yeah, I think about the vision that our founder had 50 years ago. She had a profound insight that a sick child is a sick family, and now today around the world we have chapters in over 60 countries around the world who are quite literally providing a continuum of care, supporting families throughout their healthcare journey during really critical moments of their life. So it makes me really proud to see how her vision in Philadelphia has now spread to this movement that's helping, you know, millions of children and families each year.
Yeah, the Ronald McDonald House Charities, Joanna, we know it's such an integral part to this week. The All-Americans visited a house here in Houston to kick off the weekend. If somebody at home would like to get involved with the mission of Ronald McDonald House Charities, how could they do it?
Yeah, so we're in 60 countries all around the world. We would encourage you to visit rmhc.org to learn more, find a local chapter, opportunities to volunteer, make a donation, and of course, when you're visiting McDonald's restaurants, put those coins in the coin box, round up your order for RMHC, and there's lots of ways to get involved.
Well, Joanna, thanks so much for the time. All the best to you and Ronald McDonald House Charities as you celebrate 50 years.
Thank you.
50 years of Ronald McDonald House Charities, 47 years of the McDonald's All-American Games. And coming up, we'll have highlights from the first half and the second half of the girls' game. Back courtside here at Toyota Center here in Houston, along with Megan McEwen. I'm Ted Emmerich. Might I say, Did you raid Kim Mulkey's closet? It looked about as fashionable as Kim did in the Elite Eight.
Well, I can promise you it's definitely not as expensive as Kim Mulkey's suit, I would imagine. Although, look, she looks great in it. I tell you what, this is my Masters green. When I saw she wore it, I was like, she beat me to the punchline, and she got to get all the, you know, the flowers for wearing this. So I'm now a copycat. But I like Kim Mulkey's style. Look, I left my sequins and feathers at home. So you're welcome.
You can add the sequins for the boys game coming up.
And maybe I will. You never know. But the Masters is coming up. So an ode to hello, friends.
There you go. A tradition unlike any other. Well, how about this first half here in Houston? The East with the big lead, led by the top 2 recruits in the country, Sarah Strong and Joyce Edwards.
Joyce Edwards going to South Carolina, and she has a lot of tools in her bag with the ability to step out, hit it from 15 feet. She also gets out and runs in transition. I love her athleticism, her ability to finish. She's in the right place at the right time defensively. She made a lot of really smart, high-level plays in that first half for the East. And then Sarah Strong also doing a fabulous job of showing her ability to knock down the 3. At 6'2", she has all the guard skills in the world. She can handle the ball. She can pass it. Knocked down 3 threes in that first half. Those shots are pure. Barely touched the rim. And then defensively, she can get into the position to block shots. Sarah Strong, one of the most fun players to watch. A true point forward, really. Her ability to handle the ball. She can rebound, pass it to herself, and score it.
And 11 points and 7 rebounds in the first half for Strong. Undecided down to UConn, Duke, and North Carolina. She plans to make her decision next week. Edwards adding 9 points and 3 boards. For the West, Ali Zabel, slow start from downtown, then back-to-back 3s. She's got 8, and Miara O'Neal carrying on the family legacy here at the McDonald's All-American Games. 6 points and 3 boards. So it's the East up by 16 as we start the second half. Again, 10-minute quarters. And the boys' game to follow coming up at 9 Eastern on ESPN.
You know, I really like the uniforms this year. The East, the West, the red, the blue. These are sharp-looking uniforms. Shout out to Adidas for making them.
You know something about fashion, just like Kim Mulkey.
I do. You know what? Like I said, I have a sequin suit, I promise.
I think we're going to incorporate green into the color scheme next year as Kennedy Smith opens the second half with a 3 for the West.
Wide open as well. Smith coming out, realizing there's no one around her. She had all day to read the newspaper and knock down the shot.
Silas Swords at the other end, headed to Michigan. Target, here comes Jelani Cambridge. Top point guard in the country. Feeding Smith, blocked but a foul.
At first, Jelani Cambridge didn't have numbers, but then she ran so fast with the ball up in front that all of a sudden she did have numbers and passed it off at the last minute and gives her teammate an opportunity at the line.
We asked Jelani Cambridge the other day, who's going to be the Juju Watkins, the Hannah Hidalgo of this class that will make an immediate impact in college basketball next year? And Cambridge said, it's going to be all of us.
I love the confidence that she had. And really this team, what's so cool about where basketball is now at the high school level is that these players have all played together already, whether that be with Team USA, with AAU, being on the same high school team. It's no longer, we show up and have to learn each other. They're all like, we've been playing with each other for years at this point.
Kennedy Smith, strong offensive rebound, McKinley Randolph.
Great pass back.
Strong poked it away. Let's stay at this end, 16 to shoot. McKinley Randolph says, I've always wanted to just be myself and not only Zach Randolph's daughter.
And that's a challenge that both Miara O'Neal and McKinley Randolph face when you have those famous high-level fathers. That's what everybody's going to expect you to be great. So for you to be able to find an identity, sketch your niche, nice job there by Randolph, recognizing the defense, had their arm down, still shooting the shot. But it's a tall task to have to try to live up to those names. And it's important that they realize they just have to be themselves. No one's expecting them to be like their fathers.
Like we said, Randolph and O'Neal, very different games than their dads, Zebo and Shaq. They have some range. Swords.
Oh!
Fancy move, didn't get it to go, but headed to the line.
That pump fake was everything because it got Ari Roberson up in the air, and then Silas Swords was able to attack and draw the contact.
Second team foul.
Player of the Year in the state of New York, native of Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. Plays her high school ball for the #1 team in the country, Long Island Lutheran in New York. The first program to have 3 McDonald's All-Americans in the girls' game in the same year. Swords joined by Kaylee Heckel and Kate Cavall, her teammates on the East.
Yeah, it's more than half your starting lineup. Pretty good coaching job there. And also, look, Long Island Lutheran, a great high school program that's become one of the dominant teams in the Northeast. I love how many high schools now we're seeing also play each other throughout the season from out of state. You're truly getting the top competition from so many different places. Montverde, Sierra Canyon, you name it. These are some of the top talents, and they're developing these young women into great players quicker than we've traditionally seen.
Just like we have seen on the boys' side for a little bit longer, but now those programs on the girls' side, you spend your freshman through junior years at your local high school, and you face the best competition as a senior transferring to the likes of Montverde or Lehigh or elsewhere.
Nice job. Heckel moving her feet.
Bell missed the 3. And last touch by the East.
Ooh.
Oh, Smith falling away. Couldn't hit it. And Olsen, the hustle play to give it to the East. Heckel up top to her high school teammate Cavall. And a turnover. Shelley and Zabel headed to UConn. Offensive board for Randolph. Smith lines it up, and she drills it. That's a 3.
Nice job by Smith relocating quickly. As soon as the board was had, she got out there right into the eye-line side of her teammate.
So Kennedy Smith with a couple of 3s to start the third quarter. Cavall inside, count it, and a foul for the best low post player in the class.
Cavall didn't even have deep post positioning. She was able to make that move off the block. Really impressive, the angle where she finished. She's not even that deep. Look, she's far out by the second hash mark. Boom, one move, one dribble is all it takes to keep Randolph on her back. Stay there and finish the shot.
Kate Cavall moved from Ukraine to the U.S. 3 years ago. She told us that her family is safe as the war continues. Dad Alexander's unable to travel, so mom and the grandparents travel back and forth to see Kate, but also to take care of Dad back home. Morgan Shelley comes up with the steal for the West. Ahead to Cambridge, and he curls it in.
Cambridge did a nice job keeping that ball high because Heckel was right there for blocking or contesting, but still, that's a tough finish by Jelani Cambridge.
Strong the kick, and Heckel left it short. Oh, Cambridge. Kennedy Smith catching up to it. Looking for a third 3 of the quarter. And Shelley with the putback.
Nice job by Shelley getting all the way back, trying to make sure the play gets extended. Finishing plays, huge, especially at the next level.
Olsen catch and shoot. Jelani Cambridge is a blur. And Cambridge is headed to the line.
It's truly remarkable how Jelani Cambridge can literally make numbers for herself in transition. Nice pass there that is picked off by Morgan Shelley. Feeding in transition. I mean, look at that ball hung on the rim for a hot second, then fell in. Finishing plays right there. Shelley, Jill on the spot for the rebound putback.
So Cambridge at the stripe, #1 point guard in the class. You mentioned Montverde, the star of Montverde Academy's team this year. Cambridge originally from Nashville. And talk about fits at the college level. Just a perfect match between player and school. Jelani Cambridge and Ohio State with that full-court press that Kevin McGuff runs.
Ohio State head coach Kevin McGuff lights up when he talks about Jelani Cambridge. Just how excited he is about her defensive prowess. That full court press that Ohio State plays for 40 minutes, Jelani Cambridge will fit perfectly into. And she loves playing defense, which I don't know very many players here, if we pulled them, say they love playing defense, because like Silas Swords, they love playing offense, getting rebound putbacks.
A chance at a three-point play for Silas Swords, the future Michigan Wolverine.
Off the miss, Silas Swords gets her positioning early, crashing, going against Ali Zabel. Boom, that's just a power move right there, fighting for position before the ball comes back down from the rim.
Swords, the highest ranked recruit in Michigan women's basketball history.
Ooh,
Shelley. And the rebound for Heckel. Point guard headed to USC. Swords from downtown. Olsen. And here comes Kennedy Smith. Oh, trying to find Cambridge. Randolph off the deflection. Missed the scoop. Now Strong. Ahead to Olsen. Whoa! With the spin. And Caval cleans it up.
Should almost be an assist from Olsen with the way she missed it. It's like a pass almost to Caval.
Right to her. And the East back up a dozen. Cambridge the drive, past Heckel. No foul. Basically 5-on-4 for the East. And Heckel is fouled.
Tell you what, normally the coaches are the ones that are working the refs right there. The whole entire bench working the refs trying to get a call here.
We get a chance to look into the crystal ball. The future of the women's game on the floor here tonight in Houston. Well, after the record-breaking night last night in the Elite Eight, we cannot wait for the Final Four Friday night. NC State and South Carolina at 7 Eastern. Then it's Paige Beckers and UConn against Caitlin Clark and Iowa. Both games on the app as well. And, of course, a lot of players in those games were McDonald's All-Americans in years past. Megan, just think of the 2020 class that included Beckers, Clark, Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, among others. They never got to play in a game because of the start of the pandemic.
Absolutely insane. When I saw the roster from 2020, the players that didn't get to play, Haley Van Lith's another one. The stars that are right now taking over basketball, it is remarkable to see, and like great eye for talent as well that McDonald's All-American Selection Committee has, knowing who the true stars are and who the next generation of greats are going to be.
This summer, can we organize that game? I mean, yeah, it'll be 4 years after.
Rematch, yeah.
Just somewhere.
I mean, half of them are going to be in the WNBA anyway, so
Seriously.
they'll be in shape and ready to rock.
Sausage McMuffins to the winners, something.
I could use a sausage McMuffin right now.
We all could.
Listen, they were handing out French fries over the course of Jan Fest. I'm hoping that we see the French fry people here today, too.
Yeah,
we saw Grimace a little bit ago.
Yeah, seriously, Grimace is the fry guy.
You talked about my outfit looking like Kim Mulkey's last night. Ronald McDonald said I could be a Shamrock Shake and join their crew. So I'm just saying, me, Ronald, and Grimace might become the Three Musketeers.
It weirds me out that Ronald McDonald can talk. Michaela Blakes to the rim for the layup.
It does not weird me out that Michaela Blakes can get downhill like that and finish at such a high level.
Been doing it all night. How about the pull-up from Jordan Lee, top 10 recruit headed to Texas. Kendall Dudley going to work against Avery Howell. UCLA versus USC. Wallace sticking with it here. And a tie-up. Heading the other way.
The East have done a good job getting into the paint, but now they have to stay balanced on 2 feet and try to pass it out because the perimeter is going to be wide open with so much congestion inside of the paint.
Ari Berry wasn't looking for the pass from Liv McGill. He's just led by double figures just about throughout. They were up 13 after 1. And there is Joyce Edwards inside. Future Gamecock. So Edwards into double digits with 11. Miara O'Neal back in the game, 13 in the red. Daughter of Shaq. Lee for three. O'Neal, offensive rebound. Got to put it up here, 3 to shoot. Does Lee realize it? She doesn't.
And keep in mind, a lot of these high schools do not use a shot clock, so that's something you have to get used to at the next level, the 30-second shot clock coming into play. And off an offensive rebound, it resets to 20, not 30. You always have to be aware of time and score. It's a big adjustment you make when you go to the college game.
Again, using most of the college rules here tonight. To mention the three-point line that's extended beyond the high school line. Lee comes up with the steal, and Wallace reached in for the foul.
Having a lot of whistles in this game.
Fouls called on the East, 23, Barry Wallace. Her first, third team foul.
We'll stop and start.
It's hard to get a flow.
Half.
Hard to get a flow going when we're blowing the whistle so much. It's an all-American game, you know? Let them play a little bit.
I'm with you. Carlton, the Houston native. Katie, east of here. Stick with the West.
And sometimes that's a product of not playing with each other enough, knowing that Hal's going to cut backdoor off that step up for Carlton. Someone's open.
Under 10 to shoot for Carlton. Foul inside as O'Neal hits the deck.
Loose ball foul called on number 6. Zania Soka Gomez. Her second, fourth foul.
Zania Soka Guman, Miara O'Neal just getting tangled up down low. They're going at it down here, trying to get rebounds. It's a high level of physicality that we're seeing. I love it.
You think, oh, exhibition, oh, it's a great honor. No, these players care about this game.
They were talking trash in the scrimmage. They want to win.
Again, they wouldn't be here if they didn't have that edge within to drive them.
You got to hate to lose more than you love to win. That's what separates the goods from the greats.
Kickball remains wet.
And another whistle.
Kickball this time. Carlton to inbound. Her future college teammate Jordan Lee on the floor with her. And trying to hook up with Miara O'Neal out of bounds to the east. Now, Carlton tore her ACL in July and has returned to play at a high level her senior year and earned the honor of being a McDonald's All-American. Kickball by Lee.
Kickball remains.
Now, speaking of moms being head coaches, you mentioned Kendall Dudley and Tamika at Sidwell Friends. Justice Carlton's mom, Casey, is her coach. Former Baylor Bear and WNBA veteran.
That's
Seven Lakes High School.
a good person to pick the brain of. Someone who's been at the next level, highest level possible in college basketball. There's so many adjustments that you have to make. Look, all of these players are the best players right now at their respective high schools, AAU programs, whatever it might be. But now, as 18-year-olds, they're going to the next level where they're likely not going to be the best player on their team anymore. They're going against 22-year-olds who are bigger, faster, stronger, and know how to play at that faster level, the college game. It's going to be an adjustment for everybody.
Edwards on the drive against Howell. Over the top. And we'll stay at this end. Saw the West started to press there for a moment. Down by 16 as the East has boosted its lead. Blake's such a tough cover.
2 minutes.
Down low, Edwards trying to navigate around O'Neal, and she reverses it home.
That is a high-level shot to be able to avoid the wingspan that Miara O'Neal has down low. Great maneuvering by Joyce Edwards.
Carlton launches, and she's fouled. It's on Joyce Edwards.
Joyce Edwards is so patient. Off the double team, she stays patient, gets the other side of the board, but uses her body to get Miara O'Neal on her back understands the angle this takes, cuts off the ability for O'Neal to block it. She's got 2 points.
Maybe Edwards is the next superstar front court player for Dawn Staley. You think of Asia Wilson, you think of Aaliyah Boston, Camila Cardoso. Dawn Staley offered Joyce Edwards when Edwards was in the 7th grade. It was her first major scholarship offer, and it paid off.
Joyce Edwards was a ball girl at South Carolina games, grew up loving Asia Wilson, saying that's her favorite basketball player in the WNBA. And now she has the opportunity to be the next great one. And what Dawn Staley has built at South Carolina is so impressive. It's elite for women's basketball. She's one of the great ambassadors for the game. For them to be undefeated this year, going to the Final Four, it's hard to do.
Back-to-back years now. Losing in the semifinals a year ago. Beat NC State Friday night on ESPN. Carlton Haynes and hits.
Nice job getting into the teeth of the defense, drawing multiple people. Carlton had a wide open layup because the defense got drawn towards the ball.
Future SEC battle here. Blake's headed to Vandy. McGill to Florida. Inside to Edwards for 2.
She's finishing through a lot of contact right now, keeping the ball nice and high. It makes it more difficult to block.
Rare air ball. I don't think I've seen one of those at all this week from Avery Howell from downtown.
Everybody in a blue jersey knows that Avery Howell can shoot because she has been making every shot here this weekend. So scouting report's on. They know they got to get a high hand and rush her shot. She hasn't had an open look all game.
Final 40 seconds of the quarter. Blake's turning the corner, and whistle blows, foul. It's on Avery Howell. So Blake's to the line with 32.6 remaining here in the third.
At the line for the East team, 2 shots.
Blake's the product of Rutgers Prep in New Jersey. Headed to Vanderbilt to play for Shea Ralph. That program trending back up. Ralph just took Vandy to their first NCAA tournament in 10 years.
One of the best conferences in the country. Vanderbilt and Nashville. Why wouldn't you want to go to Vandy? Are you kidding me? One of the best places to go visit. And Shea Ralph has, you know, the caliber and the experience to be the next great coach. He was on countless Final Four teams at UConn on staff for Gino Auriemma.
How about that finish by Liv McGill? She was the hero in the scrimmage. Final 10 seconds of the quarter. McGill trying to stay in front of Blake's. Edwards just banks it in. And the third quarter comes to an end. Joyce Edwards, a big third quarter for the East. And a big lead for the East on our way to the fourth.
Joyce Edwards put on a highlight reel for the last 2 minutes of this game. Back and forth we go. Everybody showing off their best stuff here as we enter the fourth quarter.
Edwards in the East as we start the fourth here in Houston. Ted Emmerich, Megan McCune with you. Megan, Joyce Edwards had a huge third quarter.
She absolutely took over to end the third quarter, getting down low, deep paint positioning, but it started in transition. Her ability to run the floor is unmatched, fighting for rebounds, second chance points. She's always in the right position, uses her body well, can finish with contact. I love how poised and patient she has been throughout the course of this game.
Edwards, number 2 recruit in the country. She'll stay home to play for South Carolina. And Dawn Staley, 17 points to lead all scorers, 8 of them in the third.
It felt like she had 17 in the third at one point.
Right? It's a 17-point lead for the East as we start the fourth. Foul as Sarah Strong was backing down McKinley Randolph. So yeah, 9 in the first half for Edwards and 8 just in the third quarter.
She is working right now, but so many of those points came from second chance opportunities, just being in the right place at the right time.
Sam Jones couldn't hit it. And here comes the West. And Morgan Shelley on her way to UConn. Shelley will fake the pass. And knocked down the shot.
She faked the pass. Everybody stopped and looked to where the ball was potentially going to go. That was quite the fake.
Sam Jones, a wizard. Out to Strong for 3. Strong had 3 triples in the first half. Zabel, quick release. And Shelley races down the rebound. Back to Zabel.
Hey, I love she's shooting every time she gets an opportunity. Why not? You're a great shooter. Shoot or shoot.
She won the three-point contest last night. She's never going to turn it down.
You especially can't turn down a wide-open 3.
Olsen headed to Michigan. Trying to almost go between the legs of Kennedy Smith there. And it belongs to the West.
Olivia Olsen was just trying to knock it off her foot to get it out of bounds. Got a little stuck down there. That's when our teammates have to come down, get into the eye line side of your teammate so you can bail her out.
West turned it over. Here's Sam Jones. Glasses and all.
There's the double. Good pass out.
And Jones hits the bullseye.
It is so key for your post players to have that passing ability and be able to pass out of the double team. Even when there's pressure, you have to be calm.
Shelley turns it over. 2-on-2. And Jones with the finish. So first the 3 and now the deuce. It's a 20-point lead for the East. Offensive rebound by Roberson off the Randolph miss. And a foul. As Roberson is trying to stick with Stara Strong coming up the floor.
Sam Jones making herself available, being in the right place at the right time. Ball goes inside. Here comes the double. Kay Cabal knowing where the double is coming from, realizing who the open teammate would be. Then in transition, Sam Jones doesn't get stopped. That means you go all the way to the rim and score.
Cabal with position. Too much on it.
Good recognition that the double did not come that time. That's why she went up with it. She read the defense and that secondary defender potentially coming over.
Randolph, the daughter of Zach Randolph. To Shelley, 7 to shoot. And Strong pulls it down. Another rebound for the #1 player in the country. Olsen, the pull-up. Got it.
Olivia Olsen.
You say that Olivia Olsen is the quintessential Michigan player.
She's poised, she's smart. The game slows down for her, and she makes the right decisions every single time. I love her size. Kim Barnes-Arico at Michigan runs some of the best ball screen defense you're going to see in the country. And then offensively, her teams are patient, methodical, right there. Prime example of knowing if you go all the way to the rim, that has the potential to get blocked. She stops right there wide open for a mid-range jumper.
So timeout for the West. Well, our action-packed ESPN April rolls on Friday, featuring the women's Final Four starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. How about our Sunday night baseball matchup? Lone Star Series, Astros and Rangers in Arlington. Then ESPN Hockey Night featuring the top teams in the Western Conference, the Stars and the Avalanche. Our lineup tonight includes the girls game, followed by the McDonald's All-American boys game. Your way at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Sam Jones takes it out and forces a tie-up.
If you bring the ball down low, Sam Jones is going to reach into the cookie jar and snatch it. Got to keep the ball nice and high here. Ooh, and right there, just the crossover. There wasn't enough separation between McGill and Jones, so Jones is able to get her hands on it and tie her up. You got to be strong with the ball when Sam Jones is on you.
I love Jones's line in her bio on Instagram. She says, heart over height. That's what it's about. Oh, nice feed. Carlton to Miara O'Neal.
Carlton getting into the paint, drawing one person over. It led to a more open opportunity for O'Neal. Yeah, heart over height, that's a great one-liner as well. And she has a ton of heart. You can tell by the way she plays. She's aggressive defensively, especially guarding the ball. And then offensively, she makes good decisions. She switches up her speeds coming down floor. She's really hard to stay in front of.
Listed at 5'7" and one of the smallest players in the game this year. Carlton through contact, couldn't finish against Cabal. Olsen, no look to Swords. Might see that a time or two in Ann Arbor starting next year.
Wolverine to Wolverine, was that a no-look pass?
That was.
That's fancy.
Boy, Kim Barnes-Arico probably just leapt off the couch. And Jordan Lee draws the foul.
This might be the prettiest play we've seen all game. The half spin, no look, Olivia Olsen, Silas Swords coming in, drawing one person, boom. Avery Howe's looking one way. Silas Swords makes her pay on the other side. That was pretty.
Olsen from the Twin Cities, Swords from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. Teammates at Michigan starting next season. Jones racing past Liv McGill, and she flips it in.
She is quick.
McGill attacking at the other end. O'Neal draws the foul.
That was a smart way to draw a foul by Miara O'Neal because she kept the ball nice and high and just kind of tapped it up towards the rim to get the shot and to get the 2 shots at the line.
Miara O'Neal at the line, 2 shots.
Measy O'Neal, she told us, born in Miami, grew up in Orlando, and went to high school here in Houston. Episcopal High School, about 7 miles west of the Toyota Center. And so what an opportunity to show out here in the McDonald's All-American game, right where she had started in high school.
And Ariana Robertson.
And she says, hey, I've got a different game than Dad. People expect me to just run through you. We've seen it. She can pass, she can shoot from the outside.
She's got some finesse in her game. I like it. I can't wait to see what she does at the next level, especially in the SEC. Some really talented post players in that league. She's the next potential great.
Lead is 20, nearing the midway mark of the 4th quarter.
Oh, high hedge. Hello.
By Kennedy Smith. She knocks it out of Sam Jones's hands. Comes up with the steal. And Roberson lost it.
And that's why you get back in transition defense, because you can prevent plays like that.
And Olsen puts it in.
Talk about waking up. Olivia Olsen has come alive in this quarter, passing it, making big-time plays at the rim.
Kennedy Smith started the half with a 3. This is in and out. Oh, Cambridge flying in for the offensive rebound. Wow. Last touch by the East. West hoping to come back here. Late stages, 4th quarter.
One of the all-time greats.
Still to this day, you know, it's one thing for Caitlin Clark to say, yeah, my all-time favorite, what a special moment that was earlier this year. And near the locker room, Clark and Maya, as Clark is chasing record after record. But to have Sarah Strong, the #1 player here in 2024, to also say, yeah, Maya Moore, my all-time favorite. That tells you about her legacy.
And when Maya Moore was at UConn as a freshman, she was an absolute sensation. She was must-see TV. Her ability to score, just take over games. In that time, 08, 09, that was when this group of girls were girls. Growing up, starting to watch the NCAA tournament, it's really cool that they can now, you know, reflect on it. And Caitlin Clark absolutely shrieked with excitement when she got to meet Maya Moore in person. It was awesome to see.
Joyce Edwards back on the floor for the East. And the 3 ball goes down for Michaela Blakes. So Blake's in double figures with 11. Roberson lost control, got it back against Soka Kuman and left it short.
Ahsoka Guman's done a good job defending in the post, whether that's going against Roberson or O'Neal. She's right there using some physicality down low to prevent them from getting deep positioning in the paint.
Kendall Dudley with the swipe. Ahead to Joyce Edwards for 2.
You see Joyce Edwards on the floor there? You gotta reward your bigs when they're gonna run down the floor.
That's 6'2" and gliding with ease. Smith over the top. Heckle in transition. Dudley too strong. Got it back. Last touch by Howell in the West. Largest lead of the night now for the East at 91-65. Boy, the only question now is who will be named the MVP.
It's a great question. Who do you think?
Joyce Edwards certainly has a case, doesn't she, as Kendall Dudley scores.
My vote would be for Joyce Edwards, the way she's taken over this second half. Scoring on the interior. Ooh, hello, range.
And an air ball from Shelley. When you think of the MVPs in this game over the years, Sabrina Ionescu, Skylar Diggins. Just last year, Juju Watkins and Hannah Hidalgo named co-MVPs, and both turned into top 5 scorers in the country as freshmen this season.
Hannah Hidalgo led the nation in steals per game. As a freshman, Juju Watkins was first and second in the nation in scoring with Caitlin Clark. I mean, they came in and absolutely took over. It all starts here, though.
Al with the steal. Part of USC's top-ranked recruiting class. Setting up her future teammate, Kennedy Smith, for the deep 3.
Kennedy Smith from the logo, knocking it down, stepping into that perfectly, and there were some people around her. That was relatively contested.
Nice second half for Kennedy Smith. 11 of her 15 after the break. Blakes.
Dudley, look at her fight for that rebound.
Against Avery Howell. Now Edwards lost it. Roberson at 6'4". Couldn't handle it. Loose ball. Edwards hits the deck. And feeds to Blakes. Better believe their hustle plays with 2 minutes to go. And Blakes is fouled.
Joyce Edwards just dove on the floor for that loose ball to create the opportunity for her team. I love the hustle plays. Those are little things that don't necessarily always show up in the stat sheet, but they affect the game in a massive way.
And Dawn Staley has to be loving that from Joyce Edwards. Ball girl for South Carolina as a middle schooler. Now the #2 recruit in the country and the Morgan Wooten National Player of the Year on her way to South Carolina.
And a former All-State soccer player. How about
that?
And it's really interesting. So many of these players, and on the boys side as well, played soccer in high school and have talked about how much it's helped them in basketball from a quickness perspective, from seeing the floor and being able to assist on passes. Soccer, there's a lot you have to pay attention to in the open field. It translates well over to basketball.
Caitlin Clark, part of her background as well. And Edwards, an all-state striker. If you're a goalie, how'd you like to be right there staring down Joyce Edwards?
Well, you probably aren't as tall as her, more than likely, if you're a high school goalie.
You're looking up at her. Smith.
2 minutes to play.
Rebound for Zania Ahsoka Guman. Under 2 minutes to play. Nice feed by Jones. Barry Wallace, the miss. And then heading the other way.
Out of bounds, West ball.
Who has impressed you the most tonight?
Joyce Edwards has been really impressive. Sarah Strong is so much fun to watch. I can't wait to see what she does in someone's system. Her ability to pass and score makes her really unique at her size at 6'2".
Oh, McKinley Randolph inside, scooping it home. Sam Jones pulling up, and she drills the three. Unlimited range.
I love it, Sam Jones. Less than 2 minutes to go. She says, I'm pulling this. I don't care. I love it.
Jones with 10 of her 13 after halftime. And you think the East hunting 100 here? Tie up. Stick with the East. 1:03 to go. Now, last year was the highest scoring McDonald's All-American girls game ever. Both teams cracked 100. Boy, both Strong and Edwards have shined here tonight.
Double, Sarah Strong.
For those 3 threes in the first half. Steal by O'Neal. Niara O'Neal. Diesel power running through the veins.
Looking like a guard going all the way in for the finish.
Jones looking for another. The ultimate heat check in the final minute of the McDonald's All-American game.
Hey, she already made one. Why not?
I thought Randolph was going to pull there.
Kickball.
And a kickball with 33 seconds.
Like we said, we had a lot of soccer players in this crew.
Yeah. Had about 5 kickballs tonight. Yeah, Flory Bidunga, best post player in the boys class of 2024, soccer background as well. We will see him coming up on ESPN.
I don't know, you asked him if he ever thought about being the goalie. He said, no, I like to score.
Yeah. Foul called here. Yeah, Bidunga headed to Kansas. Scored 11 goals in the fall, his senior season for soccer. He's 6'9".
Sounds like the national team might come after him to play in the Olympics.
Lee, pretty finish. Product of Stockton, California. Will play her college basketball here in the state of Texas for Vic Schaefer and the Longhorns. All right, well, the East crack 100. Jones for the century mark. And East ball with 10 seconds remaining. Well, we will have co-MVPs here tonight. Sarah Strong and Joyce Edwards delivering for the East.
The number 1 and number 2 best players in the nation. How about a double-double for Sarah Strong and Joyce Edwards coming alive in the second half? The future is in good hands for women's basketball.
The East wins it in a runaway, 98.